He is the dragon author. Quack scene copywriting. Long Xiao is the dragon who is the least motivated by the dragon family. He likes beauty, is greedy for gold and silver, and has no intention of practicing all day long. He loves the prosperous 3,000 worlds most, and also likes to play with weak humans. 3,000 worlds is his playground. Become a scandal-ridden little meat. Long Xiao directly broadcasted the live broadcast to spread the money. Praise me 100 yuan. Fans or black fans, I can boast that you are bankrupt. A man who was scolded for eating soft food when participating in a reality show. Long Xiao called his wife directly, buy me a 10 carat diamond and send it to me. Wife, buy it. Is one enough? Can't I buy a diamond mine? The painful stand-in who was abused by a wealthy female president. Long Xiao is open for benefits. I want to arrange XX relatives to your company, okay? Female president, after N years, even the drivers of our company are from your village. The gnawing old man in a patriarchal family without succession to the throne. Long Xiao looked at his parents. How can my sister make a lot of money to support me if she doesn't go to college? Aunt Long Xiao, yes. On. All daughters must be admitted to college to raise cubs. His Majesty the Emperor, who was poisoned to death after the Queen went out of the wall. Long Xiao summoned all concubines. If the imperial concubine is still beautiful, let the imperial concubine be the queen. Concubine, blame me for being too beautiful? Content tag, slap face sweet text fast to wear cool text search keywords, protagonist, pre-received new articles see king and tyrant for collection. Supporting actor, the ending essays the best male god, super male god, slag man whitewashing guide, the male protagonist can read the text quickly. Others, 5,000 credits in advance. One sentence introduction, is it wrong for me to love beauty and love money? I am a dragon. Conception, see everything in the world from the perspective of a dragon, leaving life and death. Brief comment on works. Long Xiao is the most motivated dragon of the dragon family. He likes beauty, is greedy for gold and silver, and has no intention of practicing all day. He loves the prosperous 3,000 worlds most, and also likes to play with weak humans. The 3,000 worlds are his playground. The full text plays the human world from the perspective of a dragon, witnesses human emotions, abuses, and beats the face, and the plot is exciting. Constructing bizarre worlds with the most witty and humorous language, allowing readers to travel through them and experience a different kind of refreshing life. Yunquan apartment can be regarded as a high-end apartment in Shangjing City. Those who live here are usually busy working gold-collar workers. The price reaches 1 square 200,000. Gu Minjiahu's apartment is 140 square meters. The price is naturally needless to say. Long Xiao hasn't slept so well for a long time. He was not born as a dragon, but was nurtured and cultivated by the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. Many times, he was cultivating, let alone wasting time in sleeping like this. On getting up from the bed, when Long Xiao walked out in her pajamas, what she saw was the servant Wang Sao, who was taking care of the housework. Mr. Long is awake, do you want to eat? There is soup in the kitchen and some breakfast snacks I made. Would you like to use some? Aunt Wang glanced at Long Xiao and then withdrew her gaze. She was not shocked by the gorgeous red scratches on Long Xiao's chest. She was a servant brought by Gu Minjiahu's family. She watched Gu Minjiahu grow up since she was a child. About Gu Minjiahu she didn't think there was anything about raising a man. My eldest lady has money and power. If she hangs on a tree with a crooked neck, she will be pitiful. Thinking that my eldest lady had been engaged to Uze from the Yu family early, it had been several years since Uze went abroad to study piano, and she also retired from her eldest lady. Wang's wife hated Uze in her heart. Well, I'm troubled. Wang's wife nodded. Long Xiao remembered this sister-in-law. After Gu Minjiahu's Bai Yueg Wang came back, the sister-in-law was on his side. Mr. Long, don't need to be so polite, you are the person that Missy likes, I am serving Missy, as long as Missy is happy, I will be happy too, Missy explained. In the morning, I will prepare new clothes for you, and I will put them in the guest room. Inside, you can go and wear it. She spoke softly and looked at Long Xiao with kindness in her eyes. She didn't mean to look down on Long Xiao at all, even if she knew that Long Xiao in front of her was a little white face raised by Gu Minjiu. And Long Xiao didn't like to wear other people's old clothes. He turned around and went to the guest room. As expected, he saw the new clothes hanging there, a whole set from the inside to the outside. The overall style of this suit is sporty, with a red t-shirt with letters, black semi-sports pants, and a pair of popular AJ sneakers. The red and white colors bring a bit of youthful commotion. Putting on this suit, Long Xiao stood in front of the mirror, thinking that his body was really good, but there were a few red scratches on his bare neck, which made him laugh, thinking of Gu Minjiu's shy and domineering looks like. When I got dressed and came out, the restaurant had already prepared meals. After Long Xiao passed by, I saw 4 side dishes, 2 soups, and some pastries, all of which were delicious, delicious, delicious. Although human beings are weak and small, they can cook good food. Picking up chopsticks and tasting the food on the table, few bites ate all the food on the table, even the soup. This makes Wang's wife on the side happy again. What the cooks like most is that the meals they cook are eaten up by others. Are you full? If you are not full, I'll make it for you. Long Xiao wanted to eat more, but there were more things that humans could do, and he couldn't waste it all on eating. No need, Wang's wife, I have eaten too much, and I will go out later. He has to deal with some of the original things in this body. Hearing his refusal, Wang's wife didn't say much, and went to clean up the dishes. Long Xiao, who had enjoyed the world's food, walked out at a leisurely pace. The sunlight outside the window was shining in through the glass, reflecting the unique summer enthusiasm on Long Xiao's handsome face, which made people feel like sunshine. Are touching this man? Long Xiao took out his mobile phone from his pocket and opened the taxi app. After placing the order, he stood at the gate of Yunquan apartment and waited. He was still a junior and didn't buy a car. There were taxis around him immediately. Long Xiao got on the bus in less than 5 minutes. Human beings are weak, but they can always invent some weird things, such as this mobile phone, such as this car, which is quite fun. The destination he went to was the house rented by Long Xiao. Although he was only a junior this year, he already rented a house outside. There are many luxury goods he bought before. Long Xiao would not use it anyway. These have to be dealt with. Speaking of this, Long Xiao remembered why I wanted to give Gu Minjiu a little white face. His body was born in the countryside, his hometown was on an unknown mountain, and the village was called Longjia village. Almost the whole village had relatives and was somewhat isolated from the rest of the world. Later, the government promoted it to the village, and the children of Longjia village were only there. Starting to go to school, Long Xiao is the best. In Longjia village, there are more than 30 children in the same batch as Long Xiao, and only Long Xiao can enter the university. The people in the village are very simple. After knowing that Long Xiao is going to go to university outside, those who can take money and those who can give things can be regarded as sending Long Xiao to Shangjing University, which is thousands of miles away from the village. From a small village to a big city, Long Xiao was suddenly fascinated by such a prosperous city, and began to compare wildly with the people in the school. Every month he asked his family for money, from 1,000 yuan at the beginning to almost tens of thousands later. People in the village thought that the big city outside was expensive, and Long Xiao was the only college student in the village who went out. Naturally, there was no objection. Long Xiao's parents couldn't get the money. The village called for the money, almost it was the power of a village to support a college student like Long Xiao. There are a lot of talents in Shangjing University, and there are countless rich people. Long Xiao has a very expensive face for me. In addition to his generous shots, he has made a lot of friends, and the cost is higher. After going back and forth, I met him. Gu Minjiu. At that time, Gu Minjiu gave a speech at Shangjing University. At a glance, he saw Long Xiao sitting in the crowd. This face resembling a fiancé made Gu Minjiu do something that made her think she gave up social morality for the first time. She asked the secretary to find Long Xiao and put forward a contract to support her. In this support contract, Gu Minjiu pays Long Xiao a basic salary of 50,000 yuan a month, and Long Xiao accompanies Gu Minjiu to give a car in half a year, and a house in Shangjing City in 1 year. There is also pocket money in peacetime. After graduation, he arranges work. The contract lasts for 3 years. Naturally, Long Xiao happily agreed. After all, the terms of this support contract were very good, and Gu Minjiu was also beautiful, so he didn't suffer. It's just this kind of Long Xiao, he didn't expect that in the end he would fall in love with Gu Minjiu with his little white face being kept, and he would even be drowned in the smelly ditch by Gu Minjiu's former fiancée Uze. He took out the key and opened the house he rented. It was filled with the smell of perfume that had not yet dissipated. He accidentally spilled a bottle of perfume yesterday. The smell was very nasty. Frowning into this rental house, it is a hardcover rental house with 1 kitchen, 1 bathroom, and 1 bedroom. It adopts the most popular 2-story reduced space design. The whole room is opened up, and the bedrooms are arranged on the 2nd floor. The lower floors are all covered. These are cabinets with luxury items, everything from clothes and shoes to decorations. This is the original owner's favorite nest, the luxury goods in it are all his efforts to buy. For these luxuries, he not only asked the village for 10,000 yuan a month, but also went to tutors, helped people with essays, and got scholarships from the school. In the end, these all became luxuries in the cabinet. Long Xiao walked over and his eyes fell on the luxury goods in the glass cabinet. There were Chanel men's bags, Gucci accessories, and perfumes of various brands filled a cabinet, and another cabinet, all of them were the original owners. The collection of sneakers, AJ sneakers have become an explosive style of sneakers since they joined various sports events, and they are the favorite things of young boys nowadays. From the beginning of the freshman year to collect these, until now the junior year, these things in this glass cabinet have been worth at least 500,000 yuan. Looking at the contents of these glass cabinets, Long Xiao understands a bit. He also likes to collect shiny things. Gold and gems are his favorites, but now that he is here, these things should be changed owners. Thinking of a second-hand luxury goods recycling merchant in the phone, Long Xiao made a call. The man on the phone was Joan, a second-hand luxury goods recycling merchant. He had previously sold several bottles of perfume to Long Xiao, as well as a second-hand Chanel bag. Hello? Is that Brother Joe? This is Long Xiao, I want to ask if you still deal with second-hand luxury goods. Joan and he were also dumbfounded when he called Long Xiao. They thought for a while before they remembered who Long Xiao was, but they quickly gave the answer. Come, sure. What are you going to do? You can get it from me for identification. If it is confirmed that it is genuine, it will be collected at the current market price. The luxury goods are similar to the antique market. When the limited edition is released, the price will be the same. When you buy it again, the price will be the same. If you encounter some special luxury goods that are limited, the value will increase by at least 10 times. I have come up with too many things here. Brother Joe, can you bring someone over to me for appraisal? Long Xiao definitely couldn't take the contents of these cabinets alone. After he chatted with Joan for a while, Joan said that he was there for half an hour, and then he hung up the phone. Long Xiao was boring standing around here, so he took out his mobile phone, took pictures of his perfume cabinet, found Gu Minjiu's WeChat, and posted the picture. Only a few of these perfumes are taken apart, most of them are bought for collection. Long Xiao thinks girls will like it. In the top building of the Yading group, Gu Minjiu was carefully looking at the documents that needed to be approved. As a result, the mobile phone placed next to the table dinged, and a message popped up on the mobile interface. She glanced, but her whole body froze suddenly. On the WeChat interface that popped up, the word Long Xiao seemed to have opened up the memory she wanted to forget. Last night, the other party's abdominal muscles that touched her so much that she couldn't put it down, as well as the temperature of the other party's body on fire. Gu Minjiahu's ears turned red again in an instant. Even so, Gu Minjiahu picked up the phone, opened WeChat, and saw the message from Long Xiao at first glance. Long Xiao, these are some perfumes I have collected before. I want to dispose of them all today. Do you have any favorites? I see you off. Straight man speak. What is perfume before I have to deal with it? Gu Minjiahu was a little bit more unhappy for no reason, and a smile appeared on his face, but he opened the picture sent by Long Xiao to his face, and took a serious look at the perfume inside. They are all perfumes from some popular luxury brands, and the prices are also floating between 2,000 or 3,000, which are not very expensive, but they add up to more than 100,000 bottles. It seems that this little wolf dog of my own is still a little bit expensive. Suddenly wanting to tease the other person in his heart, Gu Minjiahu typed over. Gu Minjiahu, what if I want it all? Seeing Gu Minjiahu's reply, Long Xiao didn't care. It was not surprising that girls liked perfume. Since Gu Minjiahu wanted it, he would give it. Long Xiao, then I will give it to you, and I want to smell it too. What does these perfumes smell like on you? Originally, with the idea of teasing Long Xiao, Gu Minjiahu proposed everything, but he did not expect that Long Xiao would send such a sentence. Seeing the sentence "What does perfume smell on you?" Gu Minjiahu's face suddenly became red. Last night everything came to her mind again, making her feel ashamed all over, stared at the phone fiercely, and put it aside and ignored it. She was molested. He was molested by a man. No one had ever said such ambiguous things to her, not to mention that such an intimate relationship had happened. Gu Minjiahu looked at the file in a mess, but actually didn't even look at it. Before Long Xiao waited for the news, he chuckled and knew that the other party must be shy, so he planned to leave all the perfume in the glass cabinet and give it to Gu Minjiahu. After half an hour passed, Zhou brought 2 young apprentices to Long Xiao's rental house. After entering the door, he was directly surprised by the luxury goods in the cabinets. Oh my god! Long Xiao, are you so many goodies? This is a Chanel Christmas bag, right? The top limited edition, you can't buy it now with money. Standing in front of the glass cabinet, Zhou saw the Chanel Christmas bag at a glance. The price of this bag has increased by more than 5 times. The original price of the bag is 68,000. Now, because of the limited edition, it now starts at 300,000. Someone buys it. Brother Zhou, except for the perfume in this cabinet, you help me identify it, give me a number, and I want to deal with it. Long Xiao also looked at the Chanel Christmas bag. Speaking of it, this bag is also fate. Long Xiao, who was a little older than half a year ago, went to work as a part-time teacher and tutored a young girl in high school. With a total score of 300 points for tutoring until I was admitted to a university, the college entrance examination score was more than 650 points. This family is rich. The little girl's mother knew that Long Xiao likes luxury goods, so she took this Chanel Christmas collection that she had previously collected. The festival package was given to him. Originally, Long Xiao didn't want to take it, but the noble lady did not miss this amount of money, so she could only take it in the end. This bag is also the most expensive bag in Long Xiao's glass cabinet. Xinglei, we've known each other for so long, so I definitely won't cheat you. Zhou nodded repeatedly and looked at Chanel's bags with his eyes glowing. This limited edition has been wanted by the boss for a long time, but no one has ever come out. As for why Long Xiao would sell these things, Zhou didn't ask too much. Who hasn't had a turnaround time yet? Just do it. Zhou took 2 young apprentices to start the appraisal. The luxury goods business also has its own way. Many imitations are made. Companies that buy second-hand luxury goods must conduct precise inspections and wear gloves carefully. Check every item in Long Xiao here. It was useless for Long Xiao to stand here. He picked up a book and read it on the second floor, just waiting for them to deal with it. The processing started at 10:30 in the morning, and it was not until 4 o'clock in the afternoon that Long Xiao's luxury cabinets were counted. It was only the price given that made Long Xiao a little surprised. The prices of bags are all here. The rising trend and the prices in the world are all here. You often buy luxury goods and you should know that you have 20 bags here, and the total price will give you 68,000 yuan, of which the market price of this Chanel Christmas limited edition is already 360,000 yuan. I will give you 37. If you have any good things in the future, please remember to find me. Zhou handed the statistical table to Long Xiao. The so-called market prices are actually fake. Generally, the price of limited edition bags will be higher when they are sold. Zhou extra 10,000 yuan is also because they are acquaintances with Long Xiao. Long Xiao nodded. In addition, these shoes of yours are also new and easy to sell. There are 50 pairs in total. Some of them have increased a lot, and it is 290,000. Here are the details. You should also check them out. There are also your ones. The accessories are the same. I won't lose you. There are prices on them. If you are not satisfied, we can discuss it again. Today, after a busy day and got so many good things, Zhou is in a good mood. Give Long Xiao time to read these lists. Long Xiao has a lot of things here, and they are all true. This makes Zhou even more happy. The most annoying thing in this business is fakes. After reading the list with a glance and 10 lines, Long Xiao found that the combined price of shoes, bags, and accessories, the second-hand price sold was a little over 1.23 million. He summarized in his memory before and bought these things. Over the past 2 years, I spent more than 500,000 yuan, but I didn't expect it to earn so much. There is nothing wrong with the price, but I still have a lot of clothes upstairs, all of which are branded. Can I take them away together? Long Xiao would never wear those clothes of the original owner. If you want to wear them, you have to buy new ones. Yes. Definitely, as long as it is well preserved. When Zhou saw that Long Xiao was so generous and did not bargain, his face suddenly smiled more, and then took 2 apprentices to pack the clothes. Sure enough, Long Xiao's clothes were all in the special clothing bag, 90% new. You can sell it if you take it out. In the end, adding these clothes, Long Xiao received 1.3 million yuan and transferred directly to the bank card through online banking. Turning into a millionaire at once, Long Xiao really didn't feel it. He was a dragon who lived in the Golden Palace, and the money couldn't buy much gold at all. But now he has a gold master. Would Gu Minjiao be willing to build a golden house for him? At any rate, I can be regarded as being hid by her golden house. From this moment on, Long Xiao had a new goal. He wants Gu Minjiao to build a golden house for himself, all of which are made of gold. Long Xiao couldn't see the more than 1 million, but remembering that he was famous for the cost of going to school outside of him, he also felt that some of his cheeks were hot when he asked the village to spend so much money every month. Others don't know, but he knows from memory that Longjia village is on a big mountain without a road. It is backed by the mountain and eats the mountain. The water you drink is the clear spring that flows down from the mountain. How can there be any money? The village hasn't even been connected to the internet. If Long Xiao hadn't come to school, the village wouldn't even be able to get a phone. Thinking of this, Long Xiao felt that he couldn't take others' things, so he had to contribute to the village anyway. After thinking about it, Long Xiao took out his cell phone and made a call in the village. There is absolutely no signal from the mobile phone in the village. Only the connected phone can be connected. There is only one phone in a village, and it is installed in the village chief's house. Thousands of miles away in the remote mountain village of Longtan City, every household in Longjia village has already started cooking and eating at this point in time. After all, if it's dark, the use of electric lights is very expensive. When the telephone at the village chief's house rang, the village chief's wife, his eyes widened suddenly. Old man! Old man! The phone rang. It must be Xiao Xiao. She didn't care about clearing the table, and hurried to the east room to lift up her husband, who had just lain down after a long day's work. Why are you still sleeping? Xiao Zai's phone. It's ringing. This thing is a rare thing. The village chief's wife has never seen this good thing. They have been away from the world for a long time. The city outside has never been to the outside city. The village chief was stunned and shouted, as soon as he heard Xiao Zai, suddenly opened his eyes wide, and quickly got up from the bed. You mother-in-law, don't answer the phone first. If I can't get up, Xiao Zai hangs up the phone, what can I do? This village chief also watched Long Xiao grow up, and knew that this kid had grown up well and was smart, so the people in the village had a mouthful of Xiao Xiao cubs to Long Xiao, and they listened cute and tight. He ignored the shoes, and ran into the hall barefoot, then rubbed his hands on his body before picking up the phone. Hey! Is it Xiao Cub? His voice was very loud, for fear that Long Xiao on the other end of the phone would not be able to hear it. Such a familiar voice made Long Xiao's lips suddenly raised, and the expression in his eyes was a little more gentle. Although Longjia village is poor and backward, but they are all the simplest. People in a village are tied together with one heart. It's me, Grandpa Hua, is the village okay lately? His voice was full of joy, and Mr. Long couldn't close his mouth, even more happy when he heard it. Of course it's good, everyone should work, eat, and be healthy. Don't worry. While speaking, the village chief winked at his old lady. These few times, the village chief's wife suddenly understood what she meant, and quickly nodded and lowered her voice. I'll call Xiao Zai's parents over. After she finished speaking, she hurriedly ran out, leaving village chief Long to call here. Then I can rest assured, Grandpa Hua, to tell you, I am calling this time to discuss something with you. Thinking of the poverty in the village, Long Xiao wanted to return the money, but the people in the village who paid back so much money didn't know how to spend it, so he might as well take it first. What's the matter? You said, as long as your Grandpa Hua can do it, your Grandpa Hua will definitely do it for you. Village Chief Long's name is Longdawa, does it sound like a girl? In the early years, the fortune teller in the village said that Chief Long needed a girl's name to be healthy. That's why the grandfather Hua in Long Xiao's mouth was born. It's not a big deal, don't we have many children as old as me? I can't do some things by myself in the city. I wonder if Grandpa Hua can send a few people over to do things for me, and then make arrangements. A little girl cooks for us, just 3 or 4. The city outside is so big, I can also find a decent job for them, so you don't have to worry about it. This is Long Xiao's sincere thoughts. He also has a golden thigh now. Isn't it a matter of minutes to arrange a job? Remembering that in the past few years before Gu Minjiahu's dissolution of the marriage contract, Long Xiao had been helping the Yu family, and Long Xiao was not happy. He doesn't care when Gu Minjiahu's Bai Yueguang will return. Anyway, the person belongs to him and his thigh belongs to him. The family who should take care of him should also take care of him. As a dragon that protects shortcomings and loves pleasure, Long Xiao does not have the so-called self-esteem and low self-esteem of human beings. Anyway, it is Gu Minjiahu who wants to support him and is always responsible to him, right? Of course it works. Not to mention 3 or 4, even 10 or so your grandfather can send it to you, but the cost outside is too great. If someone sends it over, will it give you a little bit of money? Trouble. When the head of Long Village felt his heart moved, he knew that his own Xiao Cub was out there, thinking about pulling out the villagers. If you go out 3 or 4 this time, when Xiao Cub is more prosperous in the future, wouldn't the children in the village also have the children? Rushing? Just thinking like this in my heart, his face still frowned. Xiao Zhe, a child who went outside for 2 years, would spend a lot of money. If the villagers passed by, it would be bad for Xiao Zhe. Why is it troublesome? Grandpa Hua, I'm not telling you. Actually, I have made a lot of money in the past 2 years, more than 1 million yuan. I originally wanted to return this money to the people in the village, but our family became so poor. There is no place to spend money. I just thought, bring all the children from the village out and buy a piece of land in this big city. Then we will build another Longjia village and all the people in our village will move over. Holding the mobile phone, the more he talked about it, the more he felt that this direction was okay. Long Xiao decided that he must please his own benefactor. When Gu Minjia was fascinated by him, he would definitely be willing to build a golden house for him, and then build another Longjia village. It must be no problem. As for whether Gu Minjia has this ability, Long Xiao is a dragon at any rate, and the role of the dragon is to pray for blessings. As long as you pray for Gu Minjia will make more money and build a bigger golden house for him. Good. Good. Xiao Xiao, Grandpa Hua is happy if you have this idea. Don't worry, Grandpa Hua will definitely do it for you, and arrange for you to arrange the best child in our village to find you. Will it work? After deciding not to cause trouble to Long Xiao, the head of village Long has already begun to figure out which child to arrange for the past, and must arrange for a handsome, flexible, and obedient child. Thank you, Grandpa Hua. I have already put 20,000 yuan on the card. You can let the children come to me with the money. Don't bring too much luggage. I'm afraid of being insecure on the way. Long Xiao was very aware of the people who came over and explained some precautions. Village Chief Long listened happily, but he forgot to say that the father and mother who called Long Xiao came over. When Long Xiao's father, mother, and sister came, the phone was hung up. Broke in. At the village chief's house, Long Xiao's parents suddenly looked disappointed. They looked a bit similar to Long Xiao, but the very beautiful little girl also had tears in her eyes and she was about to cry. They have not been for 2 years. I have seen Long Xiao. It's okay, don't cry, your brother is promising now. He has made money outside, thinking about helping the people in the village. Call me this time and tell me to arrange a few people to find him in Shanghai. The girl is the most sticking to your brother, so go and join your brother. Chief Long didn't see the little girl crying the most. He was a little embarrassed, and directly told about the arrangement of people to go to Beijing. As a result, the little girl suddenly widened her eyes and stopped crying. She had tears in her eyes. What can't be dropped, but the eyes are shining, as if they are shining. Grandpa Hua. Can I go to Beijing to find my brother? Really? The little girl's name is Long Qingyun, who is Long Xiao's own sister, and she has no appearance. She has a face that looks like the most popular little fairy nowadays. She is so pure that she feels softened when she sees it, and now she has tears. It is even more painful. As long as your parents are willing, of course they can. This matter has to be discussed with the villagers, and the villagers will be called for a meeting later. In fact, there are only about 500 people in Longjia village. Everyone belongs to the same clan. This quota must be allocated and it must be fair and equitable. When Xiao Zhe said that he wanted to bring the whole village to live in a big city, the head of Long village, there was a fire in my heart, and my heart said that these children must not be able to hold back Xiao Zhe. We must find the best child in the village to help Lin Xiao Xiao. Long Xiao didn't know that his behavior of asking a few people directly affected the fate of the people in the village. In fact, he opened his mouth at first, but it was because he was not used to having no one around him. Even if he becomes a human being, Long Xiao still likes to be served by others. Someone must drive this trip, right? Someone has to do the meal, right? Someone has to buy clothes, right? Someone also needs to arrange chores. Only then did Long Xiao think of the children in the village, and he can always arrange these children well at the end of the day. After explaining the arrangement of the village chief, Long Xiao found a boutique perfume box in his rental house, and chose an orange-scented perfume inside. This year's popular model, he went out happily. That's right, for the sake of his great plan, Long Xiao will never allow his gold master to be taken away by others. However, Long Xiao still has no doubt about his own charm. He believes that after having himself, Gu Minjiao will definitely not look at other men. At 5:35 in the afternoon, a handsome young man greeted on the first floor of the office building of Yading Group. The young man was slender and he was probably 1.90 meters tall. He was dressed in a sports department that didn't seem to be a business talker. Holding a bag of luxury accessories in his hand, a face favored by God is clean and tender, and the obsidian-like eyes give people an indescribable charm. Without squinting his eyes, he walked into this magnificent office building and came to the front desk. "Who can I call, mister? Is there an appointment?" When the little girl at the front desk saw such a handsome little brother, her cheeks were flushed, but she suddenly noticed that there were a few red scratches on the little brother's neck, and she felt like she was splashed with cold water in her heart. Sure enough, the handsome little brother has a girlfriend. Long Xiao came to Gu Minjiao's company for the first time, but he didn't talk at all and spoke directly. "I'm looking for your president Gu Minjiao, I'm her." "Next," "I don't know what he said." The girl at the front desk suddenly widened her eyes. She could only shake her hand and picked up the phone to call the secretary department of the president. Secretary Fang answered the phone. "Secretary Fang, there is a gentleman downstairs who wants to find the president." The voice at the front desk did not know why there was a kind of suppressed excitement. Secretary Fang frowned and said coldly, "If you don't make an appointment, you will never see the president. Do I need to teach you this rule?" The front desk holding the phone shivered and said that "I know the staff rules, but this gentleman is not an ordinary person." She gritted her teeth and said something awkwardly. "Yes, but this Mr. Long Xiao said that he is the man who is the president and the man." When the word Long Xiao came out of the front desk, Secretary Fang realized that the big event was not good. When she heard the words at the front desk, the expression on her whole face was complicated, and she could only sigh in the end. "Leave this gentleman, I will ask the president. You know what to do about this gentleman." The front desk naturally said that it understood, but my heart exploded like fireworks. My God! When they, Mr. Gu, a workaholic, also bend their waists for beauty. Secretly glanced at the red scratch on the young man's neck in front of him, and the front desk felt as if he knew something unspeakable. In the top-level president's office, Gu Minjiao was following the report sent by the finance department. He didn't lift his head when he heard the movement at the door. Only Secretary Fang can freely enter and exit this office while Gu Minjiao is working. "Mr. Gu, Mr. Long is downstairs in the company now, do you want to invite him up?" Secretary Fang worked hard to make his expression look normal and not so fussy. "Who?" Hearing the three words Mr. Long, Gu Minjiao instinctively raised his head and looked at Secretary Fang suspiciously. The surname Long is rare, and the surname Long that Gu Minjiao has seen for so many years knows that he has taken care of that man. "It's Long Xiao, who is your guardian, is now at the front desk of the company, and told the front desk that he is the man you guarded." Gu Minjiao could understand these words, but put them together, they couldn't understand them. What is Long Xiao at the front desk of the company? Also, Long Xiao told the front desk that he was kept by himself? Although when the contract was signed, no confidentiality agreement was signed, and Long Xiao was not allowed to come to the company to find her, but a big man just told others that he was being fostered. Is this appropriate? Gu Minjiao was helpless. Long Xiao's strong and fiery appearance appeared in his mind again last night, and he couldn't help but stretch out his hand to rub his temple and said, "Let him come up." "No, you go down and let him come up directly from the president's elevator." In order to prevent Long Xiao from saying more frightening words to anyone, Gu Minjiu asked Secretary Fang to bring the person directly. Secretary Fang nodded, understanding what the president meant, and then turned and left the office. In the rest area of the lobby on the first floor, the young people sitting there have attracted the attention of many staff members. Long Xiao leisurely leaned on the sofa, supporting his chin with one hand, and squinting his black pupils as bright as obsidian. Under the refraction of the light, it reveals a bit of laziness, and the slender legs are folded together at this time, which is obviously the appearance of Erlang's legs, but it is a little more expensive. The light in this room is already bright, hitting his face. It is even more so that the face that has been carefully carved by God is shining. The facial features are well defined and deep, and when you look at it from a distance, it is more than some. Male models are also eye-catching. When Secretary Fang came down, he saw Long Xiao sitting in the rest area at a glance. No way, this person's appearance is indeed too eye-catching. Although it is somewhat similar to the president's former fiancée Yuzawa, you can follow the instructions of Secretary Fang. Aesthetically, this dragon is better than Yuzi. He walked quickly to the rest area and came to Long Xiao. Hello, Mr. Long, Mr. Gu asked me to send you upstairs to see her. Long Xiao, who was in a daze, turned his head and looked at Secretary Fang in front of him for a moment. Oh, you are Secretary Fang? I still remember you. You are responsible for my contract with Minjiu. He finally got up lazily, got up from the sofa, then bent over and picked up the bag on the table. Let's go. Secretary Fang also saw the scratches on Long Xiao's neck at a glance, and automatically made up a lot of novels such as The Domineering President's Little Carpet in his mind, but still had a serious face on his face, leading Long Xiao towards the inside. Went in and led people to the president's exclusive elevator. The elevator quickly reached the top floor. Secretary Fang wanted to take people to the lounge, but he thought that the president said he would take them directly, and he took them directly outside the office. Mr. Long, Mr. Gu is inside, you can go in by yourself. Thank you Secretary Fang for leading the way. Long Xiao pushed in. Gu Minjiu, who was still reading the financial statements, didn't lift his head, thinking it was Secretary Fang. Secretary Fang, you put someone in the next room, and I'll go over immediately. She confessed, she still did not look up. At this time, all the figures in her mind were in the financial statements, and she was calculating a string in her mind, and she did not hear that the person walking towards her in the office did not belong to Secretary Fang. The sound of high heels, but the footsteps of another man. Long Xiao met Gu Minjiu at work for the first time. Today, Gu Minjiu only changed clothes after arriving at the company. He only wore a black shirt. 2 buttons were unbuttoned at the neckline, revealing his white neck, slightly covering the left side of the neck. Tooth print. Sure enough, the woman at work was the most beautiful. Long Xiao's eyes fell almost aggressively on Gu Minjiu's slender swan neck. He knew how delicious it was, and he left his own mark. This unignorable gaze made Gu Minjiu finally lifted his head from the report, and it was Long Xiao's beast-like eyes that met her, making her sit tight in an instant, and the roots of her ears were red. You, when did you come in? She couldn't speak well, her ears were hot, her chest was hot, and her toes that no one saw were curled up quietly, her eyes panicked. What? Can't I come into your office? Long Xiao was wronged, and the eyes that had originally carried the ambiguous sentiment suddenly became a little sad, but he still stubbornly accused the woman in front of him. You just took my first time yesterday. Today you turned your face and didn't recognize anyone. You didn't even call me a single phone call. Fortunately, I knew that I would come to see you in the name of sending perfume. If I didn't come, would you? Don't care about me anymore. He is like an unreasonable pet, complaining about his owner's feelings for him, so Gu Minjiu only feels that he wants to laugh for a while, the original embarrassment is gone, and he only feels that the person in front of him is extremely cute even if it is unreasonable. But she didn't expect him to be the first time, which made her feel soft. People are always obsessed with some inexplicable first time, not to mention that they have achieved each other the first time. Gu Minjiahu's light brown eyes narrowed into crescent moons at this time, and his red lips couldn't help but curled up. Looking at Long Xiao in front of him, his voice was unprecedentedly gentle. How can I ignore you? Isn't this working in the company all day? Besides, it was my first time yesterday, and none of us suffered. Things that should have been difficult to say at this time turned out to be like a joke, so that Long Xiao in front of him didn't feel wronged anymore, and he walked over, and the next moment he bent down, reluctant to forgive. Then you hug me, if you hug me, I will forgive you. Gu Minjiahu suddenly laughed, turning around and looking at the dark eyes of the person in front of him. He was obviously a tall man with a length of 88, but he coquettishly looked like a big dog. Helplessly stretched out his hands, Long Xiao immediately happily moved closer to let Gu Minjiahu embrace his neck. His hands had already embraced Gu Minjiahu's waist, and put his face on Gu Minjiahu's neck, as if sucking. The cat rubbed as hard as the cat. Humph! Forgive you. The rubbed ears and neck started to get hot, and Gu Minjiahu only felt that the person in his arms was like a small sun. The scorching temperature kept burning on her body, making her start to boil. Well, I still have work to deal with. Will you wait for me first? Let's eat together after work. Unprecedented gentleness, not like being vigorous in front of employees, or pretending to be gentle like in front of Uze. Gu Minjiahu patted Long Xiao on the back, and for the first time he understood why men like to raise Jia Hua. If it is a man are all acting like Long Xiao, which woman can stand it? In the end, Long Xiao sat obediently on the sofa in the office, and Gu Minjiahu continued to process the report. Occasionally, there was the sound of game death on the sofa. After looking up, he continued to work. It was already half an hour after he was done. At 6:10, Gu Minjiahu took Long Xiao down from the president's elevator, but did not encounter any company staff, but when passing by the front desk, the appearance of the girl at the front desk who wanted to see it, reminded Gu Minjiahu of the people around him. Masterpiece! The two did not go home, and went straight to a private restaurant for dinner. When Long Xiao saw the menu, his eyes lighted up. Order whatever you want. Gu Minjiahu said, she seldom eats alone with men. Besides Uze, Long Xiao is the first man like her to eat alone. She is her person. Long Xiao was not at all polite, and ordered a lot of what he liked. After Gu Minjiahu added a few more, he was allowed to go down. In the private room, two men and women who don't know each other stay together, and it's easy to get embarrassed, but Long Xiao doesn't feel that way. He suddenly remembered something and turned his head to look at Gu Minjiahu. Can I live with you? I want to live with you. Gu Minjiahu was also dumbfounded by the question. She was inexperienced in raising small fresh meat for the first time, and she didn't know whether to live together, and should she let the other party live in their own villa or just live in the last apartment. After blinking, he noticed that Long Xiao had a serious face in front of him. After confirming that the other party was not joking, he hesitated. Then you move to my apartment. Originally, the apartment was intended to be given to Long Xiao, but now that the other party mentioned it, Gu Minjiahu also moved forward. Well, wife Wang's cooking is delicious, can she stay at home to cook in the future? Long Xiao nodded, thinking of Wang Xiao's craftsmanship, and once again made an inch of it. Gu Minjiahu, who had no experience as a gold master, could only agree, but felt that something was wrong, and when he hadn't figured out what was wrong, his hands were pulled by Long Xiao and held them in his palms. The black pupils shining with shards of light were extremely serious at this time, and they were full of women in front of them, and Long Xiao's sincere appearance seemed to be taking an oath. Minjiahu, it's the first time I have been taken care of by someone. If there is something wrong with doing it, you must tell me, I will correct it, and I will try my best to please you. It was the first time someone wanted to please her in such a formal way. Gu Minjiu only felt that his mind was a little confused. He hadn't figured it out yet. The words to appease the person in front of him had already blurted out. It's the first time for me to take care of someone else. You are very good, and I like it very much. In the past few days, the staff of Yading Group found that their president was radiant, the spring breeze was blowing, and he was smiling all day long, and occasionally looked at his mobile phone. The most important thing was that the president changed his perfume. In the past, Gu Minjiu's favorite perfume was the Loki luxurious woody fragrance. Most of it was the indifferent cedar smell or the cold and delicate fragrance of green leaves and flowers. But many people have smelled it in the past 2 days. The orange perfume on the CEO's body. The sweet and mellow fresh orange taste makes people feel girly in love. The unique scent of freesia gives people an elegant feminine charm. Coupled with the last faint smell of grass, you can imagine it just by smelling it. Oranges are generally sweet and sour love. A mature woman changed the perfume she often used. Why? There is only one answer: she is in love. Mr. Gu, it's a bit presumptuous. Can you ask what brand your perfume is? My wife is about to have her birthday. I think she will like the smell. In the fragrance of this kind of perfume, the male client who cooperated happily talked about the next cooperation with Yading Group, and even asked about the smell of this perfume. In many cases, men's sensitivity to perfume is more intuitive than women's. Meng's wife is celebrating her birthday? This perfume has been discontinued. It is a limited edition, but if Mr. Meng likes it, my friend just collected it. Let the assistant send it to you tomorrow. Don't worry, you can't delay it. Your wife's birthday. After discussing the cooperation plan for export products, Gu Minjiu's delicate makeup also showed a smile on his face. Originally thought that the signing of the plan would take at least half a month to a month, but I didn't expect to discuss it as soon as I met today. It is more suitable than the estimated price, which makes Gu Minjiu feel better. Gu's family made a fortune in home appliances. For so many years, Yading Group has made home furnishing products, which are sold overseas. It is regarded as a standard entity industry and a cash flow player. In Gu Minjiu's father's generation, he did not invest in it. Few scientific research scholars are developing more home appliances. Now Gu Minjiu is the general manager of Yading Group. The chairman above is Gu Minjiu's grandfather, and his father and mother are researching more convenient and faster home appliances in the company's research institute. It can be said that after so many years of development, Yading Group has always had a very good reputation in China, and it can be regarded as a national brand, but the export trade is also the money that must be made. After Gu Minjiu came to power, he began to continuously expand foreign sales routes. Meng is always the sourcing manager of a foreign chain supermarket brand. If we can successfully cooperate this time, Yading Group's products will once again occupy new sales outlets abroad, and the remote plan can increase sales this year by 2%. More than 10. Thank you, Mr. Gu. I feel relieved to cooperate with a sincere businessman like Mr. Gu. I also believe that Mr. Gu can arrange the best products for us, so I hope we can cooperate happily in the future. The two shook hands. The contract has been signed. When he returned to the company, Gu Minjiu was very active, and the series of marketing managers behind her were also very happy. They said it was impossible that this was a double harvest in the love career. This is the first time I have met with other partners, and the contract was signed. It is so fast that people can't believe it. You know, when the UK sales route was expanded last time, the boss of the marketing department and a few small shareholders of the company accompanied them to dinner, and almost didn't have stomach bleeding from drinking. This time, I just met, and I didn't eat at noon all morning, and the contract was signed. Is it the speed of light? Secretary Fang also got the news from the assistant department, and there was a little smile on his face. After Gu Minjiu returned to the office, congratulations immediately. Congratulations to Mr. Gu. This time I can open up this sales route in the United States, which will surely bring the company's sales to a peak again. She is the life secretary, who specializes in handling Gu Minjiahu's life and work arrangements, and does not participate in these negotiations. Well, this thing is really happy, and I didn't expect the signing of the contract to go so smoothly. Gu Minjiahu somehow thought of the man who only knew about being coquettish and enclosure, and he laughed suddenly. His nose was an orange perfume that he had never used before. Thinking of his good luck, it could not have been brought by Long Xiao. If it weren't for the perfume given by Long Xiao, why would Mr. Meng ask himself about perfume? Although Yading Group is a supplier, everyone in the domestic appliance business knows that most of the domestic shopping malls are sold by the brands themselves, and they have to pay for the major supermarkets. If they open their own stores, they will also burn money, but this time I contacted a large chain shopping mall in the United States. People first gave a deposit. As long as the goods are shipped abroad, the follow-up payment will be paid. It is not like the domestic need to hold down the payment. Gu Minjiahu was naturally happy. She came to the desk, picked up a bottle of crisp yellow perfume on the desk, and handed it to Secretary Fang. Check if this perfume can be bought. Money is not a problem. It will be delivered to President Meng in the hotel where President Meng is staying tomorrow, and packaged properly. In addition, President Meng's wife is having her birthday. You can buy a suitable gift together. Send it over. Secretary Fang took it, but I don't know why the contract was reached so quickly. Okay, President Gu, I'll make arrangements right away. As soon as she was about to leave, she heard Gu Minjiahu ask again. How is the car I asked you to arrange before? When will it arrive? I have already greeted the Force store, and it will take a month for the latest Rolls-Royce to transfer the goods, but Mr. Gu, rest assured, I will urge them. Secretary Fang didn't expect Mr. Gu to remember Rolls-Royce. It's less than a week. Unless you get a second-hand car, you can't get a new car if you have money. That's fine. Gu Minjiahu didn't urge him either, just couldn't help feeling good, sitting in the office and didn't work, planning to reward Long Xiao with something. This time he could sign the contract so quickly, Gu Minjiahu didn't expect. So what about Long Xiao, who was missed by Gu Minjiahu at this time? He drove a $2 million BMW to pick up people at the high-speed rail station. The village chief chose 4 people to deliver them. After taking the money from Long Xiao from the bank, he asked them to take the high-speed rail directly. There was a rumbling sound from the high-speed rail station, and the high-speed rail finally arrived. Everyone buzzed down, and the flow of people walked toward the exit. 3 handsome-looking young men surrounded a pretty little girl, showing a way of encirclement, protecting the innermost Long Qingyun. The 4 people bought tickets for first-class seats, 2,000 yuan apiece. It hurts the 4 people who knew it, and in order not to shame Brother Xiao in the big city, the head of village Long bought a new ticket for the 4 people. The clothes and shoes cost more than 10,000 yuan. Surrounded by the center, Long Qingyun was wearing a white skirt, her feet on white cloth shoes, and her long hair reaching waist. A pure face of first love has been struck up several times in the high-speed rail, and she is guarded by 3 young men nearby. My brother said he would come to pick us up. Will my brother find us later? There are so many people here. Walking out crowded outside, Long Qingyun's eyes were full of worry, afraid that such a crowded crowd would not be used to such a big city, but when he thought of his brother, he had unlimited motivation. She hasn't seen her brother for 2 years, and she doesn't know if his brother has changed. Sure, you are Brother Xiao's sister. Long Sheng replied without hesitation. He was wearing an orange t-shirt, 20 yuan apiece, and his hair was very long. He was tied on his head and looked at the girl. The same, if it weren't for the sharp edges and corners of the face, and a pair of eagle eyes full of vigilance, it is estimated that he would be regarded as a girl. The other 2 did not speak, paying attention to those around them, fearing that someone would secretly take advantage of Long King Yun. When the head of village Long went down the mountain to buy clothes in the city, Long King Yun was almost taken advantage of by a man. At that time, the three young men violently broke out and almost didn't scare anyone to death. The four people just walked out of the subway station following the flow of people. After they got outside, the flow of people was scattered, but it was not so crowded. Four pairs of eyes kept looking around, looking for the trace of Long Xiao. As a result, Long King Yun saw the man under a big tree on his left at a glance. His height of 1.88 meters envied everyone. The weather was a bit hot. He was wearing a white shirt with English letters and wide black trousers above the knee, revealing his powerful calf, and a pair of red and black sneakers under his feet. "There. Is that my brother? I haven't seen you for 2 years, my brother seems to look better. Standing there is not like being in a village at all, it's pretty." The three boys finally saw the person Long King Yun pointed at and nodded quickly. "Yes, it's brother Long Xiao." "Wow! Did brother Long Xiao grow taller again? Let's go there quickly." The village has a small population, and the children all play together, and the relationship is very good. Long Xiao also liked to take care of the children before. The children in these villages worship and trust Long Xiao. The four people quickly ran towards Long Xiao, each with long arms and legs, so that Long Xiao could also look at them. The four people who ran over, a pretty little girl in a little white dress, were their sister Long King Yun. With long hair, wearing a yellow t-shirt and carrying a black bag, it is Long Shengsheng, the grandson of the head of Long Village. The other two are also acquaintances. One is wearing a white shirt, and the gentleman is Long Linjia, who can be regarded as cousins. The last one is that Long Lei, who is a bit big, estimated to be nearly 2 meters in length, and full of muscles. He has the strength to work and is also a close relative in the village. "Brother." After rushing over, Long King Yun originally wanted to hug her elder brother, but her timid thoughts made her stand in front of Long Xiao with red eyes. "Brother Xiao." ×3 Seeing this little girl's red eyes, Long Xiao's heart was also soft, and he reached out and rubbed Long King Yun's hair with a gentle voice. Okay, don't cry, get in the car first, it's too hot here, are you hungry? I'll take you to dinner." Soothing younger sister, nodding to the other three, Long Xiao is still very powerful. With this order, Long King Yun stopped crying. After taking a look at the hometown specialties brought by the three young men, Long Xiao opened the trunk, put the things in, and let the four people get in the car. There were 5 people in the next car. It was a bit crowded, but it was still possible to sit down. It was the first time for the 4 children to see such a good car. It was unavoidable that they were a little excited and surprised. The sister Long King Yun asked a question that several people wanted to ask. "Brother, how much is this car? Did you buy it?" Children who have never seen the world have no idea how expensive their BMW is. "More than 2 million, I didn't buy it, my girlfriend's." Long Xiao answered calmly. In fact, he doesn't mind telling people that he is being fostered, but after telling the front desk last time, Minjiahu specifically said that he can't tell others about the relationship between the two of them. If someone asks, he must say is a girlfriend. What the Lord Jin said, of course Long Xiao must implement it. But I never thought that this sentence caused the 4 children in the car to open their mouths in surprise, and there was a tacit understanding at this time. "Brother, have you had a girlfriend?" ×4 Long Xiao continued to drive without squinting, but it seemed that the 4 of them were making a fuss. "Well, I will take you over this time, and I will rely on my girlfriend to find a job." Long Xiao, who has now entered the house, couldn't help laughing when he thought of being with Gu Minjiahu. Minjiahu's work should be progressing smoothly, but he would pray for Minjiahu. Dragon's blessings can make people's career go smoothly, and all wishes come true. What reward will Minjiahu give himself then? It would be great if it were a golden house. In the elegant and luxurious private room, the spring water on the rockery gurgled by, making a crisp sound of water, and there were golden fish swimming around in the pool, and the waiter wearing a azure-printed cheongsam was orderly serving dishes. Long Qingyun and Long Shengsheng have never seen such a posture. In this private room, I felt a little fidgeting. Seeing those beautiful young ladies quit after serving the food, they suddenly understood why my brother spent so much money in the city, and so many people waited just for a meal. Can it not cost money? This is a private restaurant where Long Xiao followed Gu Minjiu to eat. The decoration is elegant and confidential. What Long Xiao likes most are the bach hen rice and sweet and sour fish in it. On the square table, exquisite dishes were placed exquisitely, one by one. They looked good in color, fragrance, and flavor, but the four children didn't dare to move, they just looked at Long Xiao. As the eldest brother here, Long Xiao picked up his chopsticks and swept over four people. Look at what I'm doing. Are you hungry? Take chopsticks to eat, and wait for me to feed you. As soon as these words came out, all four of them smirked. Long Qingyun also picked up his chopsticks and began to eat like his brother. Long Shengsheng and others were no strangers before they came. After all, they are the same as Long Qingyun. They hadn't seen Brother Xiao in 2 years. This sweet and sour fish is my favorite, Qingyun, please taste it. If you like it, I will often bring you here in the future. Recommend your favorite sweet and sour fish. Long Xiao is not polite with these children. Well, thank you brother. Long Qingyun has completely no strangers to her brother at this moment, and she happily eats with chopsticks. The little girl looks very cute and sweet when she eats. The other 3 people also started eating. After all, they were all tall boys. Among them, Long Linjia, the shortest, was also about 1.8 meters tall, not to mention that Long Lei was 2 meters tall and looked like a pillar. Brother Xiao, when my grandfather said you want to help, I immediately signed up. You can let me do anything you want. Long Shengsheng was eating, and now he hugged his thigh quietly. This city there are so many people in it that are scary, but he looks at his own brother Xiao the best, different from others. Brother Xiao, me too, my parents said, let me follow you, I will do whatever you ask me to do, and I will have my strength. I can do any heavy work in the future. Long Lei, a big man, also spoke. He was so strong that he could carry more than 300 kilograms of things. If it were placed in ancient times, it would be called a pullover. Brother Xiao, tell me what you have, and if I can't, I'll study it seriously. Long Linjia, who was in a white shirt, smiled softly and jadely. This time, in order to let Long Xiao lead the villagers, the 4 who were sent here did not look ugly. Long Qingyun is Long Xiao's sister, and she looks like a jade. No problem, the other 3 people are all good looking after being watched. I know, Grandpa Hua has already said, the next arrangement is as long as you are obedient. Long Xiao nodded, and was satisfied with the appearance of the few people in front of him. Speaking of which, Longjia village had a small population, but all of them looked good, which made people feel happy after seeing them. After a meal, all 5 of them ate happily. This private dish was made very well. Long Xiao directly swiped Gu Minjiu's card. Gu Minjiu gave it 2 days ago, saying it was a daily expense. After eating, Long Xiao took the people to the house he rented before. The house had been rented for a year, and he couldn't live anymore, just leaving it to the 3 boys. Shengsheng, Lei, Linjia, the 3 of you will live here in the future. There is a kitchen, a bathroom, and a bed on the top floor, enough for the 3 of you. In addition, I will show you my ID card. Bringing people into the house, of course Long Xiao couldn't let his lovely sister live with these boys. At this moment, he stretched out his hand. Although the 3 of them didn't know why, they cleverly put their ID cards in Long Xiao's hands. They heard the village chief say that it is absolutely impossible to come to a big city without an ID card. Looking at each of them with their ID cards, the three of them are all grown-ups. Long Shengsheng turned out to be the youngest. This year, at 19, Long Linjia is 20 years old, and Long Lei is also 20 years old. His birth month is older than Long Linjia. Now it's time to arrange. Long Xiao returned his ID card and said, "You guys will clean up here today. I will take you to buy some daily necessities later. I will take you to apply for a driving school tomorrow. Within 3 months, you will all have to get my driver's license. People in the village are not well educated. I am afraid it will be very difficult to do other jobs, but learning to drive should be no problem." I listened to Brother Xiao. The three of them nodded hurriedly. No matter what Brother Xiao asked them to do, it was always for their benefit. In the afternoon, Long Xiao drove 4 people directly to buy daily necessities. By the way, he also bought some of Long Qingyun's daily necessities. After the purchase, he sent the 3 people back to the rental house. "Take my sister back to where I live." In the car, Long Qingyun was very nervous and secretly looked at her brother. "Brother, you live with your sister-in-law now. If I go, will your sister-in-law be angry?" When I had just eaten, Long Qingyun already knew that her brother not only has a girlfriend, but also his sister-in-law has a lot of money. Not only did he buy a car for his brother, but he also lived with him, so I think about it, Long Qingyun more nervous. "No, she is very nice." Long Xiao praised Gu Minjiao without hesitation and turned to look at his sister. "Besides, you are so cute, she will definitely like you when she sees you. Have you ever heard of the term I Wu and Wu? She likes me, and she must like you too." "No way, he is so confident." "Then, the brother tells me what kind of person his sister-in-law is, so let me know about it first, okay?" Blinking his eyes, Long Qingyun didn't feel that her brother had been taken away, but she was a little afraid that his sister-in-law would not like him. Her brother seemed to like her sister-in-law very much, so she must not hold back her brother. Thinking about this, Long Qingyun's eyes flashed a bit firm, and decided to wait until his sister-in-law's house, and she must perform well. She is the chief president of a company called Gu Minjiao. You can call her sister Minjiao then. She is amazing, managing a company with tens of thousands of employees, especially making money, and very good to me. Speaking of Gu Minjiao, Long Xiao is quite chattering, and his eyes are full of tenderness, which makes Long Qingyun think that his brother must like his sister-in-law. Otherwise, how can he say that his sister-in-law is so happy? More than half an hour later, the car stopped in the parking lot of Yunquan Community. It was already 5 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, Gu Minjiao left work, and Long Xiao sent his sister upstairs. Wang's sister-in-law was preparing dinner for Miss Wang and Long Xiao. When she heard the movement at the door, she greeted her. She didn't expect Long Xiao to bring a young and beautiful girl over, and she was taken aback. "Wang Xiao, this is my sister Long Qingyun, and I will live here from now on. The guest room I asked you to prepare is for her." Long Xiao introduced her sister. "Qingyun, this is wife Wang, who cooks at home and takes care of Minjiao." When I heard that the little girl was Long Xiao's relatives, Sao Wang suddenly smiled, and found that the eyes of this girl and Long Xiao really looked alike, and they were all watery, which made people feel distressed. "Hello Wang Sao, my name is Long Qingyun." To greet Wang Sao obediently, Long Qingyun held her hand in front of her, a little nervous. "It's Miss Long, you don't need to be so polite. From now on, you can just treat this as your home." Wang's wife can see this during this period. "My eldest lady is thinking of Long Xiao in her heart, and she won't be able to say that Long Xiao is in the future. Miss Long Xiao's future husband is naturally welcome to Long Xiao's sister. Anyway, compared to the Yu family's group who take advantage of the eldest all day long, she still likes Long Xiao. At least Mr. Long can make the eldest lady happy, and everything coaxes the eldest lady, unlike the person Yu Zi, who obviously takes advantage of the eldest lady, but also shakes her face to make her wronged." Besides, since Long Xiao brought the people, it must be the eldest's permission, she naturally welcomes it. Wang Sao hadn't thought about it at all. Long Xiao didn't tell Gu Minjiu about this at all. That's all right, Sister Wang, my sister asks you to take care of her first. Minjiu is about to get off work, I will pick her up. Arranging his sister for Wang's sister-in-law, Long Xiao went downstairs again. He planned to drive to pick up Gu Minjiu and talk about his sister's affairs by the way. At about 6 o'clock, the long roller coaster went downstairs. This time he didn't go upstairs. After calling Gu Minjiu, he knew that the other party was going downstairs, so he waited downstairs. Gu Minjiu didn't expect Long Xiao to come to pick her up. Very few of the dates with Uze were due to her coming to the place in advance to wait for Uze, and being picked up by car like this was very rare. After finishing the work at hand, Gu Minjiu went downstairs and saw the BMW she had eliminated before. In the afterglow of the setting sun, the energetic young man stood there. When he saw Gu Minjiu, he excitedly raised his hand and waved at her. This reminded Gu Minjiu of when he went to school. Many boys were waiting for their girlfriends. The light brown eyes were unconsciously dyed with a bit of joy. It was clear that the weather was so hot, but when he saw this person, Gu Minjiu still felt that his mood suddenly became refreshed, and he moved towards the youth. Seeing Gu Minjiu coming, Long Xiao couldn't wait to greet him, and grabbed Gu Minjiu's shoulders. Before Gu Minjiu could react, he leaned in. Gu Minjiu closed his eyes in fright, but only felt it. The warm breath sprayed on her forehead, and then the soft lips were printed on her eyes. I wanted to kiss you, but who made you close your eyes? I can only kiss your eyes. He had already opened the distance, his voice was ambiguous and regrettable. When Gu Minjiu heard such complaints, he could only open his eyes, and gave Long Xiao a little embarrassed. Not afraid of Gu Minjiu, Long Xiao continued to laugh, with a bit of shame, already holding Gu Minjiu's hand. The weather was very hot, but Gu Minjiu's hand was cold. Gu Minjiu was suddenly curious. Why don't you allow me to close my eyes when kissing? A dark glow flashed through Long Xiao's dark pupils, but he still had a smile on his face. Because I like to look in your eyes. Take a look in your eyes, is it me or someone else? On the car back, Long Xiao seemed to be smiling, but Gu Minjiu always felt that Long Xiao didn't seem to be happy just now. There were low and elegant piano music on the car, but it was a little dull. This car is the first business that Gu Minjiu did when he came to the company and bought it himself. Although it only cost more than 2 million yuan, it was very important to Gu Minjiu. When there was no car on Long Xiao travel, Gu Minjiu was totally overwhelmed. He drove this car to Long Xiao temporarily. Nowadays, the Song of Secret Garden is a popular piano song. Compared with the antique piano music that Uze likes, she has the same aesthetics as the young people nowadays. Like this popular piano music, this car music is still Gu Minjiu's best favorite music. Sitting in the co-pilot, Gu Minjiu couldn't help squeezing his pants with his hand on his side, and then turned to look at the person who was driving. Xiao, today our company negotiated a big deal. I thought it would take at least a month to negotiate. Everyone was worried that the result would be bad, but I didn't expect to sign the contract this morning. I think it's because of you. It's my side that makes me so lucky. Her voice was gentle, with something she didn't know to please. A pair of light brown eyes looked at Long Xiao's profile eagerly. I don't know why, she didn't seem to make Long Xiao sad at all, because as long if Xiao is unhappy, she will feel unhappy too. Originally intended to share the news with Long Xiao happily, but influenced by Long Xiao's emotions, Gu Minjiu only wanted to coax Long Xiao well. The cautious temptation made Long Xiao feel that it was useless to get angry. He was originally the one who came later. When the light was red, he turned his head and glanced at Gu Minjiu. Although he didn't smile, his eyes were no longer gloomy, and there was still a little bit proud. Of course, I wish you a smooth job every day. With my blessing, your company will definitely develop better and better. Maybe you can become the richest man in the country one day. At present, Yating Group has not been listed. Most of it is doing cash flow operations and has a lot of assets. Such a large group is at least worth more than 10 billion. However, because it is engaged in the home appliance business, the development space is somewhat insufficient. After all, Chinese people often pursue foreign brands for this kind of technological sense. Really? If I can really become the richest man in the country, then A Xiao is my most important person. What is A Xiao's favorite? I will buy it for A Xiao. Long Xiao's attitude softened, making Gu Minjiahu's eyes bright, and then assured without hesitation, and asked what Long Xiao likes. She asked the secretary before that boys of this age love the luxury of car watches, but Ah Xiao didn't seem to be keen on it. Me? I like gold and silver jewelry, emeralds and diamonds, and everything shiny. The car started again, and Long Xiao mentioned these things that made him happy. His dark eyes were glowing. Seeing such a Long Xiao through the mirror, Gu Minjiahu didn't feel that the other party was vanity at all, but only thought it was cute. This person is alive, who doesn't like gold and silver jewelry, emeralds and diamonds? That's a coincidence, I also like these very much. I will work hard to make money in the future and buy you a lot of gold and silver jewelry, okay? All of mine will be given to you. Gu Minjiahu coaxed the driver, like a dizzy king who smiled for the sake of beauty. But these words coaxed into the dragon's heart, Long Xiao, and he nodded reservedly, then turned his head and glanced at Gu Minjiahu in admiration, and said seriously. Then I want a golden house, a house made of real gold. After he finished speaking, he quickly twisted back, but didn't see Gu Minjiahu's dumbfounded appearance. She looked at the young man driving with a smile. The other person's handsome face, coupled with the identity of herself and each other, made her think about it. One word Jin Wu Kang Jiao. Now that I spend my wallet to raise the dragon's sky, isn't this called Jin Wu Kang Jiao? Okay, I will definitely give you a house made of gold. She promised that business acumen has already started a big storm, thinking about how much a house made of gold costs. Now there are 471 grams of gold on the market. If all hard gold is used, it will be much cheaper, but if it comes down, the price is still a bit expensive, and the house for Long Xiao should not be too small, at least as big as a villa, and then not all gold can be used, but diamonds, gems and the like. Thinking about it this way, Gu Minjiahu felt that the time she originally wanted to take a vacation was not enough, she had to work hard. For the golden house of A Xiao. The atmosphere of the two of them gradually improved. When the car was almost home, Long Xiao later realized that he remembered something. People from my village came here today. Boys, I have arranged a place to live. My sister is living outside alone. I don't worry, so I brought it to our house. Can she live with us in the future? At this moment, I thought of my sister Long Qingyun, and Long Xiao was a little embarrassed. Sister. Gu Minjiahu was stunned for a moment. He really didn't expect what kind of sister this younger sister is and could still live in her own house. Yes, my biological sister, named Long Qingyun, is very cute. She already knows about our relationship, and in order to see you, she specially prepared a gift. Long Xiao explained that he looked at the phone and knew that the sisters among humans had various explanations. He didn't want Gu Minjiahu to misunderstand. Oh, your sister. Gu Minjiahu breathed a sigh of relief, and then he was a little surprised. Is she taking care of Long Xiao, right? Why do you want to see Long Xiao's sister? But if you want to question, when you see Long Xiao's face is normal, he doesn't know what to say, and he suddenly chuckles in his heart and looks at Long Xiao. You won't tell your sister that I will take care of you. Her eyes were shocked, her pupils quaked, and there was a dumbfounding look on her face. She believed that her own A Xiao could say such indifferent things. In A Xiao's words, he makes money from his beauty, so why is he inferior to others? No, I said you are my girlfriend. Long Xiao looked at Gu Minjiu suspiciously, with questions in his eyes, as if asking, didn't you let me say that? Gu Minjiu breathed a sigh of relief before nodding. Yes, I have to say that to anyone in the future. I can't tell others about the relationship between the two of us, understand? The mainstream of this society is to achieve success through their own efforts. Their behavior with A Xiao originally destroyed the social ethical relationship. If this is to be known to outsiders, the rumors and talk will despise A Xiao. Anyway, Gu Minjiu is reluctant to bear it. She is the general manager of Yading Group. She is rich, even if A Xiao is not working, she can afford it. N. Long Xiao nodded obediently, making Gu Minjiu feel comfortable again. She didn't like the decision of others to resist her. The two eventually turned a corner on the road. After all, Long Xiao's sister came over. Gu Minjiu, who was a sister-in-law, had to give gifts, so he bought a lot for Long Xiao's sister on the commercial street. Her clothes, shoes, bags and the like are all of the most popular styles for 18-year-old girls nowadays. She heard from A Xiao that the girl just came here and didn't bring anything. These clothes and the like are better than flashy gifts. It was not until 7:30 that Gu Minjiu and Long Xiao arrived home. Wang Xiao and Long Qingyun were already sitting in the living room waiting for the two of them. When they saw the two came back, they both stood up immediately. At a glance, Long Qingyun saw the woman holding her arms with her brother. Her skin was as white as snow, her black hair was draped over her shoulders, her eyes were sharp, and her red lips gave her an extraordinarily oppressive feeling, which made her nervous. Stand up! Brother and sister-in-law, you are back. I and Wang's wife have already prepared the food. She was so frightened that she couldn't speak clearly, so Wang's wife suddenly laughed. Gu Minjiu was also very nervous. Don't look at the calm expression on her face. In fact, the hands holding Long Xiao were shaking. She nodded reservedly, showing a smile. Hello, Qingyun, right? I'm Gu Minjiu, your brother's girlfriend. You can call me Sister Minjiu from now on. Her voice was clear and gentle, which made Long Qingyun relax a lot, but she still didn't change her mind. She took out a box from the table and handed it to Gu Minjiu. Sister-in-law, I came in a hurry this time and didn't bring any good things. This is a beaded bracelet carved by my father himself. It is good for people's health. I will give it to you. I hope you like it. This box is very delicately packaged. After Long Qingyun asked Wang's wife, she went to the big supermarket downstairs to buy the wrapping paper by herself. The contents inside were really good things. Originally her parents asked her to bring them to them. Brothers, now I can only give it to my sister-in-law first. Gu Minjiu took the box with a smile on his face, and his voice was soft and watery. Thank you for your gift, I will cherish it. After she finished speaking, she gave the gift to Cao Wang and asked Cao Wang to put it in the bedroom first, then took out a card from the bag and handed it to Long Qingyun. The code for this card is 66. Your little girl comes to the big city, and there are many places where you need money. Hold the swipe. There are 200,000 yuan in it. If you don't have it, call me and your brother saying that you didn't bring anything here. Just after get off work, my brother and I bought you some clothes and jewelry bags. The store will send them tomorrow. You will watch them at home. If you don't like them, you will return them. Keep the ones you like. Gu Minjiu was exasperated when his sister-in-law shouted. In fact, Uzi also has a younger sister, but it is a pity that that sister is savvy and willful. How can this little cute with a face of first love make her happy? Gu Minjiu didn't stingy with these 200,000. The clothes, shoes and jewelry she asked to send tomorrow morning would add up to more than 200,000. Long Qingyun also knew that the money was a bit hot, so she looked at her brother for help, but never thought of seeing her brother changing his shoes and squatting on the floor with his sister-in-law's slippers. Foot. Long Xiao's big hands were a little hot, and they were placed on Gu Minjiahu's slightly cool ankles, making her cheeks hot, and there was a little girl in front of her, which made her even more shy and tight, but he lifted his feet and let them go. Long Xiao took off her shoes. You must wear high heels to work in the company, or stiletto heels. Gu Minjiahu felt extremely comfortable when he stepped on the pink and took off his shoes. Long Xiao carelessly put her shoes in the shoe cabinet and looked at his sister. If your sister-in-law gave it to you, just take it, and ask for it if it is not enough. Your sister-in-law has money. What this said was really righteous, so Long Qingyun didn't know what to say, and in the end she was stuffed with a bank card in a daze, and then she was taken to dinner by her sister-in-law. Watching her brother pick a fishbone for his sister-in-law at the dinner table, Long Qingyun was a happy one in her heart. It seems that my brother really likes sister-in-law. My sister-in-law likes my brother too. This is simply the happiest thing in the world. And the sister-in-law didn't dislike her, and bought her clothes and gave her a bank card. Is this what the brother said about Iwu and Wu? Sister-in-law must be miserable brother, right? After dinner, Gu Minjiahu went to look at the guest room where Long Qingyun was staying, and found that the room was also well packed, and was relieved a lot, but he still explained to Long Qingyun, if you have any needs, you can tell her and Cao Wang. It's okay, it can be handled. Sister-in-law, you don't have to worry about me. If there is something, I will tell you. You can rest with my brother. In the afternoon, Long Qingyun got the cell phone bought by her brother. In addition to his brother's phone, it was Wang Cao and Gu Minjiahu's. She was excited at the moment and urged Gu Minjiahu and her brother to rest. She got along with Sister Wang in the afternoon, knowing that her brother and Sister Minjiahu already live together, and they will definitely get married in the future. It's just that Sister Minjiahu seems to be rich at home. I don't know if she will agree that Sister Minjiahu is with her brother. Okay, let's go to rest, and you should hurry to sleep, you know. For such a pretty, well-behaved, and sensible girl, Gu Minjiahu naturally cared for her. Especially after comparing with a certain unruly and willful girl, Gu Minjiahu's eyes looked better when she saw Long Qingyun. She was a sister. Why is Yuzi's younger sister so much worse than Qingyun? Long Xiao didn't insert the topic of the two girls either. After the two of them finished speaking, he put his arm around Gu Minjiahu's waist and held it in his arms. Long Qingyun, you should go to bed, don't play with mobile phones, you know? Go. He has always been the eldest among the children, and the younger sister Long Qingyun is also very obedient. She nodded her head quickly and entered the room, leaving her brother and sister-in-law to be alone. Being hugged, Gu Minjiahu gave Long Xiao helplessly. Don't hug in front of children, it's not good. Although he enjoys being stuck by Long Xiao, Gu Minjiahu still feels that he should be more stable in front of other people. What's wrong? You are mine. What's wrong with my hug? And she is not young anymore, she is 18 years old, sensible and knows to leave room for her brother and sister-in-law, you see how much she likes you. Deliberately cuddling the woman in his arms, Long Xiao leaned in and rubbed Gu Minjiahu's neck, and the warm breath fell on her neck, causing Gu Minjiahu to instantly soften, and he could only let Long Xiao hug her. Look, you are about to fall into my arms now. He lowered his voice and deliberately licked Gu Minjiahu's neck. It was low and manly magnetic, so Gu Minjiahu couldn't help holding his arms around Long Xiao's neck, tilted his head slightly, and looked at the familiar but unfamiliar man in front of him. She admitted that she liked Long Xiao at first because she looked like her ex-fiancé Yuzi, but since that night they had a more intimate relationship, she knew clearly that Long Xiao and Yuzi are different. Yuzi is always so polite to everyone. Even to her fiancé, she gets along like a friend. There has never been intimacy between the two. Her first kiss was even with the man in front of you. But what about Long Xiao? Long Xiao is like a carnivore on the prairie. He is as overbearing as a lion and tiger. He likes enclosures. She is kept by a woman but doesn't care about other people's opinions. She won't be flattered even with the bank card she gave. It's bland as if it were normal. And Long Xiao is passionate, as if uncontrollable flames were burning in his dark pupils, like his warm skin. She couldn't resist it at all. Looking at the man in front of her, Gu Minjiao was a little lost. She knew in her heart that things were beyond her control, but she let the man in front of her encroach on everything from her body to her soul. Long Xiao, do you like me? She wanted to ask the man who hugged her tightly before her, but when the words came to her lips, the taste changed. Kiss me. She heard herself saying this, and then accompanied by Long Xiao's low laughter, her lips were kissed by the man. Gu Minjiao did not close her eyes. Her eyes met Long Xiao's dark eyes, looking at love. Want to get the corner of this man's eyes, and then he hugged Long Xiao's neck tightly, and sent his whole person up. Naturally, Long Xiao would not let go of the woman he had brought up. After a kiss, he hugged Gu Minjiao up, ignoring the slippers that fell on the floor, and walked into the bedroom. The bedroom door was closed, and there was no one in the hall. Wang's wife had already fallen asleep. Long Qingyun was addicted to her mobile phone and didn't know her way back. But in the bedroom that was originally used for leisure time, it was full of spring, men in the dark. Women are doing the most intimate things in the world. At 6 o'clock in the morning, the alarm clock on the bedside rang dripping. Gu Minjiao, who was lying on the bed, stretched out her hand to turn off the alarm. She was a little bit sour and tender. She stretched out her hand and touched it again. Touching the familiar tooth mark, he turned his head and glared at the man who was still sleeping, helpless. Are you a dog? You bite people all day long. She complained, but she leaned forward. She didn't wake up watching Long Xiao and kissed him on the cheek. Then she got up to get dressed. She has a strict biological clock and must be at the company before 7:40 in the morning. As for Long Xiao, well, after she lived with Long Xiao, she had never seen this guy get up before 10 o'clock. However, there are not many things at Long Xiao school. People who don't need to work can sleep as long as they want. Gu Minjiao chose the clothes he wore today, a white shirt, a red hip-length skirt, and a barefoot standing in front of the mirror. Gu Minjiao felt a little embarrassed afterwards. He seemed to have left his slippers outside the door last night. The woman in the mirror was full of peach blossoms, but she was particularly energetic. Gu Minjiao stretched out her hand to tidy up her shirt. It turned out that the shirt could not cover the bite marks on her neck. Thinking that the company would not have to see any major clients recently, Gu Minjiao didn't care about covering up. After applying the foundation and pressing it down, I walked out of the bedroom. As soon as I left the house, I saw the slippers neatly arranged at the door, and the feeling of being discovered by someone doing bad things immediately made Gu Minjiao very embarrassed. Sister-in-law, are you up? Long Qingyun slept very late last night, but got up very early. At this moment, she was full of energy and hurried over to say hello when she saw Gu Minjiao. Well, why did you get up so early? Don't you take a break? Gu Minjiao looked at the little girl in front of him and said to his heart that the girl and her brother are indeed a family, and they both look good. I can't sleep anymore, so I got up. Sister Wang is already cooking, and I'm almost ready. I want to help, but Sister Wang won't let me. Long Qingyun was also a little embarrassed. She knew she lived in her sister-in-law's house. I wanted to be more diligent, but Wang's wife refused to let her enter the kitchen, so she had to wait outside here. Wang's sister-in-law doesn't like having people around when cooking. You don't need to worry, just wait for the meal. You are still young. Gu Minjiao felt a little sympathetic when he remembered that the little girl in front of him stopped going to school at a young age. Well, I know my sister-in-law, what about my brother? Isn't he getting up? Long Qingyun, who didn't know her brother was a slacker, glanced toward the bedroom, but didn't think much. He is still asleep. He usually wakes up at 10 o'clock. Don't worry about him, you just accompany me to dinner. Gu Minjiu explained that the matter of Long Xiao waking up at 10 o'clock was still after the two lived together. Although she was going to work in the morning, Long Xiao would send a message every time he woke up, telling him what to eat and so on. Yes, just like boyfriend and girlfriend filing, this is a small diary that Gu Minjiu often likes to read every day when he is in the company. Well, then I will eat with my sister-in-law. Long Qingyun, who worked hard to please her sister-in-law, sat at the dinner table with Gu Minjiu after a while. Wang's wife made all the meals and sat down for a meal. Wang's wife was watching Gu Minjiu grow up and had a meal together. That's all normal. Wow! This is so delicious. Like Long Xiao, Long Qingyun likes Wang Xiao's cooking, and has become a little expert in praise of the group. He exaggerates Wang Xiao's praise, and urges him to let Long Qingyun eat more. Taste this, this is good for girls' skin. Auntie Wang smiled, making Gu Minjiu feel happy early in the morning. After all, can he be unhappy with such a small happy fruit as Long Qingyun? But when little Pistachio didn't understand anything, Long Qingyun finished a small soup dumpling. As soon as she looked up, she saw the bite marks on Gu Minjiu's neck. She was shocked, her face turned pale, and she looked nervously. Gu Minjiu. Sister-in-law, sister-in-law, are you okay? Gu Minjiu and Wang's wife who asked about this were both taken aback, looking at the little girl who was about to cry. What's the matter? Gu Minjiu was still gentle. How can my brother be like this? How can he bite you? Sister-in-law, do you hurt? Looking at Gu Minjiu with a distressed look, Long Qingyun didn't know that this was the most intimate behavior between men and women. He just thought that Gu Minjiu was bullied by his brother, otherwise how could he leave such a big tooth mark? This time, Gu Minjiu, who had always been holding it, also reddened directly from his neck to the base of his ears. Unexpectedly, Long Qingyun saw the tooth mark, and even asked like this. For a while, he didn't know how to answer, and his face was red and hot. Wang Xiao was also stunned, and she took another look at her eldest lady who was all beautiful recently, and hurriedly said to the little girl. Qingyun, the eldest lady doesn't hurt. Your brother likes the eldest lady so much, and he will certainly not hurt the eldest lady. This is the little love and fun of the two of them. I hurriedly changed my mouth temporarily and turned the little taste into a little fun. Seeing my eldest lady's face was flushed, Wang's wife also smiled in her heart. She felt that the eldest lady was like a real woman, but she seemed to be with Uze at that time, just like a wooden person, pretending to be fake. Oh, this way, then I can rest assured. Long Qingyun nodded in a daze, and Long Qingyun couldn't think of what it was like, but he still cared. Sister-in-law, if my brother bullies you, you must tell me. Even if I can't beat him, I will let my parents beat him. She raised her fist to express her support for Gu Minjiu, which made Gu Minjiu's original embarrassment a little warmer, knowing that the girl really cared about herself, and smiled. Well, if he bullies me, I will tell you. This brother and sister are both cute and tight. Gu Minjiu once again felt that it was a good thing to take care of Long Xiao, or else I wouldn't meet such a cute sister after breakfast. Gu Minjiu looked like he was running away. He went to the bedroom and took the gift from Long Qingyun yesterday to the car. He planned to go to the car to see what gift Qingyun had given herself. I was a little surprised when I saw the scented, golden yellow bracelets that were soft and delicate to the touch. They were golden nanmu, a good thing that money could not buy. Long Qingyun didn't know that the gift she gave had pleased her sister-in-law. After 8 o'clock, she waited until her brother got up. After seeing the series of scratches on her brother's neck, she realized later and understood her brother. Why bite the sister-in-law? Brother, I don't know why my sister-in-law wants to catch you, but you are a man with thick skin and scars are okay. But sister-in-law is a girl, how can you bite her? What if you have scars? She tried to explain to her brother how terrible the scar is for a girl, but she saw her brother raise his eyebrows in disapproval. Long Xiao glanced at his innocent and ignorant sister, pointed at the scratch on his neck, triumphantly. I bit her because I like her. Did you see it? Your sister-in-law caught it. She likes me very much. I like her to catch me. I'm willing. Long Qingyun, who couldn't tell her brother, was helpless. She could only hope that his sister-in-law would not be angry with his brother. After seeing Long Xiao up, Wang Sao prepared an elaborate breakfast for Long Xiao. She likes these two brothers and sisters. They are like little hamsters when they eat. They are obedient, and eat all the food cleanly, so that Wang Sao, the person who feeds, will always have an inexplicable sense of pride. Today noon is braised crucian carp and sweet and sour pork ribs. What else does Mr. Long want to eat? I will prepare it in advance. Sister Wang looked at the satisfied man after the meal, with a smile on his face. Long Xiao is not very picky, but Sister Wang has been serving Long Xiao to eat for more than a week. She knows that this child likes to eat sweet and sour food, not very much. Hot. Wang Sao, just watch and prepare. I like to eat everything you make. Long Xiao stood up, and after explaining well to Wang's wife, he walked into the hall and saw his sister who was playing with a mobile phone. Yesterday, he bought mobile phones for the 4 new guys. It's getting hot right now. Sitting down beside Long Qingyun, Long Xiao turned to look at his sister. Mobile phones are so fun. He had never played with a mobile phone before, but he didn't realize the fun of this thing. At this moment, Long Xiao had forgotten who played the game in Gu Minjiahu's office. It's not playing with a cell phone, but talking to Sheng Sheng and the others. This phone is so powerful that you can talk without spending money. Sheng Sheng and the others want to ask you when you will be there. Looking up, Long Qingyun's pure and innocent face smiled openly. She was still a little girl, happily with a mobile phone. Wait a moment, the clothes your sister-in-law bought for you were delivered at 9:30 yesterday, and we will leave after the arrangement. Long Xiao replied, following his sister's appearance, taking out his mobile phone and slumped on the sofa. When Wang Sao finished the kitchen, what she saw was the appearance of 2 young guys with high performances lying on the sofa. Not to mention, no wonder the eldest likes it, she also likes it. At 9:30, the things that Gu Minjiahu bought for Long Qingyun yesterday were brought over by the store. All kinds of clothes matched with jewelry, and even made a clothing matching booklet. Long Qingyun didn't need to go one by one to try on clothes, just look at the matching in the booklet. It was the first time that Long Qingyun saw so many beautiful clothes. Even if she came from a small mountain village, she knew that these clothes might be valuable, so she sneaked into her brother's ear and lowered her voice. Brother, are these clothes my sister-in-law bought for me? Are they expensive? If it's too expensive, Long Qingyun thinks that she can wear the clothes she used to wear before, and she doesn't need to wear too good. It's okay, your sister-in-law is not short of money. These are all personally selected by your sister-in-law, who said that the girl who is the most suitable for your age, you just wear it, otherwise your sister-in-law will turn around and ask me why you don't wear new clothes. Also talk about me. Long Xiao pushed his sister over without covering up, and said this in front of the crowd, and the sister-in-law on the side nodded again and again. Miss Long, these clothes are given to you by Miss Long. Just wear them. Miss Long is happy to see you wearing them. The Yading group is not short of money, and the eldest lady is not short of money. Wang's wife comforted as she saw that the little girl was so nervous because of a little dress. Then take it all, I will definitely thank my sister-in-law when I look back. In her heart, she was silently planning how to please her sister-in-law. Long Qingyun felt that she must work quickly, and then make money, and buy gifts for her sister-in-law. The shop manager who came to deliver the clothes also brought a smile and continued to introduce the clothes to Long Qingyun. In the end, all these well-matched clothes were left behind. After all, Gu Minjiao personally selected them and put them in the clothing room, enough for Long King Yun to change. Wear it for a month. The two brothers and sisters here are in a good mood, and Gu Minjiao, who is in the company, is in a good mood. After officially signing a contract with a foreign company yesterday, the next work began to be arranged in an orderly manner. The staff below are all crazy busy, but the president Gu Minjiao has spare time and only needs to take a look at the report sent over occasionally to confirm nothing is wrong. Sitting at the desk, Gu Minjiao played with the bracelet on his left hand. The bracelet was delicate and smooth to the touch. The color was as bright as golden silk, and it was also tinged with faint purple. In addition, Gu Minjiao did not spray any perfume today, and could still smell it. The faint fragrance from this bracelet is not obvious, but it gives people a relaxed and happy feeling. This is a bracelet made of top-grade golden silk Nanmu. Gu Minjiao saw it at a glance. Her grandfather likes these things the most, what antique jade, what precious vegetation and the like. In the first 2 years, his grandfather specially asked someone to customize a piece of golden Nanmu furniture. The golden Nanmu is not the best. You can make it. But it is very beautiful, the color is light yellow, it feels soft and moist to the touch, the texture is light and clean, showing the appearance of a landscape map. After careful polishing, it is shining like a brocade in the sun, golden light shining, it is intriguing. Grandpa told her that if such good things were kept in ancient times, they could only be offered to the emperor. It was the first time that Gu Minjiao saw this golden Nanmu. He asked his grandpa out of curiosity and found out that the whole set of furniture alone cost him more than 80 million. It is said that the golden Nanmu has more than 300 years of time. The price is already an acquaintance price. Thinking of this, Gu Minjiao turned on his mobile phone, took a photo on his wrist, and then sent a picture to his grandpa's assistant. Grandpa is now the chairman of Yading Group, but recently he went to a field with an old friend to do a wooden inspection. Although Gu Minjiao is the general manager, Gu Minjiao is already handling all the big and small things in the group. She was still not sure if the bracelet was made of golden Nanmu, but it looked alike, so she asked her grandpa. 2 minutes after the picture was posted, a phone call came directly, and Gu Minjiao saw that he was his grandfather. Minjiao, who owns the bracelet you just sent? Father Gu's angry voice came from the phone, and he seemed to be in a good mood. He had already read the golden Nanmu bracelet that Gu Minjiao had sent to his assistant. Grandpa, this bracelet is a gift from a friend's sister. You can help me see if it's your favorite golden Nanmu, Grandpa. This year, golden Nanmu is hard to come by. The older it is, the more expensive it is. This bracelet is shining with gold and purple. Gu Minjiao thinks it must be a good thing. A friend gave you this? This is a good thing. Your friend still plays with this? I just looked at the picture you sent. The bracelet inside is a good thing. I just showed Lao Zhang the color and the golden silk is obvious. It is also purple, and at least it is carved from wood that is more than 500 years old. However, this craftsmanship is simple, just the most common polishing, but the things are really good, and you can't find it. Have you returned gifts? There was a knowledgeable person next to him. Father Gu had already shown the old gentleman next to him, and after determining the approximate age of the bracelet, he felt that his girl, this friend, taught well. You know, this bracelet made of golden Nanmu is not only scented, but also has the function of nourishing the body. Wearing for a long time, it can refresh people's mind and body, and regulate the body and mind. In ancient times, many royals and nobles were made of golden Nanmu. The bed, it's a pity, now that they want to find a golden Nanmu bed that is more than a few hundred years old, it will be difficult. Is it so precious? Gu Minjiao was also taken aback. He didn't expect this bracelet to be so expensive. I heard from my grandfather before that the longer time the golden Nanmu is more expensive, it has been able to become golden for at least 100 years. I'm afraid it will be longer, but the person who gave it to her turned out to be Long Xiao's younger sister. Thinking of raising Dragon Xiao with a package of 30,000 yuan a month, and the result was that his sister was such a good thing when she sold her, Gu Minjiahu suddenly didn't know what to say. Yes, this good thing can't be found, you can help grandpa ask your friend, if there are any more, get me a bunch, money is not a problem. Old man Gu likes this kind of thing, he has money on hand. In addition to yachting group, he also has a lot of private property. Okay, grandpa, I will tell you after I have asked, how are you doing recently? The two began to chat about their daily routines. After all, Mr. Gu is old, and now he is outside, Gu Minjiahu is a little worried. Father Gu said that he was in good health and asked a few questions about the company. After learning that the latest contract with foreign exports was signed, he praised Gu Minjiahu on the phone, which made Gu Minjiahu feel even more happy. After talking for 10 minutes, the phone was hung up. Gu Minjiahu looked at the bracelet on his wrist for a long time, and felt that he could not be too stingy. Qing Yun came to the big city alone, and he had that kind of relationship with Long Xiao. Can be regarded as her closest person, wait a few days to ask Qing Yun if she has a driver's license, buy her a car. No, it's not safe for the little girl to drive herself at a young age, or find a school for Qing Yun. As she thought about it, she couldn't help but plan, and she also made a plan about Long Qing Yun. In a blink of an eye, it was noon, Gu Minjiahu did not go out to eat, so Secretary Fang sent the food to the lounge next to the office, and sat alone in the lounge for dinner. Mr. Gu, there was a call just now. Secretary Fang didn't want to interrupt Mr. Gu's dinner, but the person on the phone made her have to walk in, making Gu Minjiahu puzzled. Who? Yes, it's Miss Yu Shan. Secretary Fang felt that her scalp was numb in embarrassment now. Gu Minjiahu, who was eating, paused, his expression became a little more indifferent, and he looked up at Secretary Fang. What's the matter with her? Secretary Fang was also speechless to this Miss Yu Shan, thinking that the president had already dismissed your brother's engagement, and you still have such a big face. How about calling the president when something happened? That's the case. Ms. Yu Shan said at the school that she would do a student aid fund plan, and wanted Mr. Gu to join the student fund plan. She also said, that it's for the sake of our Yating group. In the future, the school will cultivate outstanding students. Talents will be returned to the group.